Hey guys, so I actually had to read extra minutes, so I'm reading Amber Brown, like I said I was. Okay, I actually got this from a donation box at the school across the street. Chapter 1. In just 10 minutes, our entire class is getting on a plane for a flight to China. I wouldn't like to go to China right now. Wait, what year was this made of? Oh, and this is this is about fighting with your best friend is no fun. Okay, what year was this made? Doesn't say. I am a Brown and one very excited third grader. I'm a third grader. My best friend Justin Daniels is going to sit next to me. Right now he's sitting at the desk next to me, pretending to be an alarm clock. All I hear now is a quiet tick tock, tick tock, tick tock. But I'm absolutely positively positive po, posit, positively whatever positively sure that he has something else planned. We always sit together when our class flies to some faraway place. It's slowly it's 12:02. In fact, we've been sitting together since we first met in preschool. But that's another story. Finding my passport and tickets is not easy because I, Amber Brown, am one very messy third grader. So my little bit. Quickly pull things out. I quickly pull things out of my desk. The book I'm going to use for my report. Half a roll of strawberry licorice, my sticker book, 2 headbands, 7 rubber bands, 11 paper clips, 2 workbooks, and finally my passport and tickets, which I have put in a specially decorated case. I used a lot of my stickers on it. Bzz, squawk. Justin starts rocking back and forth. I hit him on the head with my passport and tickets. Okay, what are you doing this time? I'm a cuckoo bird alarm clock, and my tail feathers are caught. Justin bobs back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Having Justin Daniels as my best friend sure makes life more fun. So does having Mr. Cohen as my teacher. Teacher, not t-shirt. Get ready to board. Mr. Cohen flicks the lights off on to signal the end of one activity and the beginning of another. I'm just messing with my earrings, twisting them. Okay. All of the chairs in the classroom are lined up so that it looks like a real plane, with aisles to walk down and places for the pilot, co-pilot, and flight assistants. Mr. Cohen is always the pilot. He said that's because he's the only one in the room with a driver's license, but I know the real reason. he's always the pilot. It's because once he wants to make sure that we get, but I know the real reason he's always a pilot. It's because he wants to make sure that we get to where we're supposed to go. Once he let Roger Hart be the pilot, but when we got there, Roger announced that he had taken us to Disneyland instead of there. So is this a real plane or is it pretend? Like if he drove you to Disneyland, that means it's not real? Okay, I'm confused. So now Mr. Cullen is the pilot at all times. Hello, Princess. Okay, we have a guest. Come here, Princess. We have a little guest. Come here. Come here. Come here. Come. You are coming over here. I don't really care. Nope, you're coming over here. Okay. Here's our guest. And he picks different kids to be co-pilots and flight attendants. When my turn comes, I want to be a co-pilot. I don't want to have to pass out little packets of peanuts because some boys act so immature, making monkey sounds and stuff. Not Justin though. He and I spend the time reading the Room 3 to be in Flight magazine. My iPad's dying. Hold on. Okay. Now we're ready. Everyone writes articles for it. We also do the crossword puzzle that Mr. Cullen makes up. Well, actually, to be honest, sometimes Justin makes monkey sounds too. The class lines up, waiting for our passports to be checked by Mr. Cullen. Hannah and Burton looks at the photo on her passport. I hate this picture of me. I don't know why we couldn't just bring one from home. Every time we start studying a new country, we fly there. And every time we do, Hannah complains about the picture on her passport. You look perfectly good, I tell her, looking at the school picture. We all use our school pictures except Brandy Colwyn, who came to school after the pictures were taken. Her passport has a picture that Mr. Cullen took with his instant camera. Okay, it's been 8 minutes. And, okay. That's what, wait. This is what our picture looks like. Wait. Oh my gosh, that's exactly what it looks like. Except she has like little bangs here. That's what it looks like. But her bangs are spread out. Hannah shakes her head. I am perfectly good. I just look really terrible in my picture. I choose to ignore Hannah's correction. You know that Mr. Cullen wants our make-believe passports to look like the real thing. Remember when he showed us his real passport? It looked awful, and he doesn't really look that bad. Hannah makes a face and grin. Amber. See, that's the picture. I told you that's exactly how it looks. Why do I love doing this? Okay, I should just do this. But then it would fall down here and then I could just pin it up here. Just because you forgot which day the pictures were going to be taken, and your picture looks like you jumped out of bed, threw on any old clothes, combed your hair with a rake, doesn't mean that the rest of us don't care about how we look in our photos. I look at Hannah's picture, her long blonde hair, perfectly combed, with a really pretty multicolored ribbon barnet. Wait, beret. I look at my picture, brown eyes, freckled nose, my brown, slightly messy hair is held back with two bagel-shaped barrettes. I'm wearing normal, non-pictured, taken day clothes. In fact, I'm wearing my favorite things. A very long t-shirt that my Aunt Thelma brought back from a trip to London. A pair of black stirrup pants, even though it doesn't show. I remember which pants I was wearing. I, Amber Brown, have very good memory. I don't look so bad. Anyway, I forgot that the pictures were being taken that day, even though Mr. Cullen told us a million times. Even though he had written 2,000,000 reminders on the blackboard, I'm a little forgetful. That's exactly like me. Like when something a little bit reminded, I remember it. Like it's locked inside my head, like I can't get it out. Like permanent marker. And when something that's been reminded so many times, I forget it. Like, you know those washable markers, how they come off so easily? Like that. That's how it is in my mind. Like a very thin coat of paint on monkey bars. How they rub off. It rubs off very easily. Okay. And Hannah Burton isn't always totally right. I don't comb my hair with a rake. Maybe my fingers sometimes, but never a rake. I like your picture, Justin grins at me. It looks exactly like you. Not just the way you look, but the way you act. You mean messy? Hannah laughs. You mean messy? Hannah laughs. I want to pull off the stupid little... that's not family friendly. The silly little bow that she's wearing on her head. Don't you dare, Justin pulls on my arm. Don't you dare. Like the way Justin usually knows what I'm thinking, and I usually know what he's thinking. Mr. Cullen checks our passport, looks at our boarding tickets, then Joey for tornado leads us to our seats. Once everyone is seated, Joey shows us how to fasten our seatbelts and tells us what to do in case of an emergency. Mr. Cullen gets on his make-believe crop Mommy, what is this word? It's Crowphone, and tells us to get ready for the trip of a lifetime. And we go into the wild blue yonder. The third grade is on its way to China. These pictures are bad. Okay. Chapter 2. This is the 14th page, and I'm on chapter 2. That's a long chapter. I'm just gonna lay down. I don't really have that much room, but I'm laying down. China. It's a nice place to visit. I can't talk today. It's a nice place to visit. Visit. Say hi, princess. Yes, my baby princess is joining us today. She like hips. When I scratch her head, she nods very fastly. I just cannot talk today. Mr. Cole, once we got off the, it's a nice place to visit. Once we got off the plane, Mr. Colin showed us a film about China, and then we worked on our scrapbooks about the trip. Justin and I are cutting out pictures from the folders that the travel agency sent. We're turning them into postcards to make it seem like we're really in China. So I guess they're not really in China. I'm confused. Like, how did they go to Disneyland when they were trying to go to Zia? Like, but they're saying it's not real. This doesn't make sense. Like, is this even the right, I don't know. Then we're writing important facts about the places in the scrapbook. Justin holds up a picture of a giant panda. And says, let's send this to Danny, the bratster. You mean Danny, the bratster? Huh? That's the same thing. That's what he said. Your little brother, the 4-year-old, you don't like sharing your room with. I paste the picture on the note card. The same, the one and only. Justin nods, takes the card and writes, having a wonderful time. Glad you're not here. What? Glad you're not here. barely miss you. I barely miss you. That's barely. Barley. Inform him. I inform him Justin makes a face with the panda. Barely. It's better. Don't worry, Danny. Oh, barely. I barely miss you. Wow, that's rude. Don't worry, Danny. Can't read anymore. Anyway. Not your handwriting, at least. I stare at the scribble. I stare at the scribble. Yeah, it kind of is a scribble, but they're trying to write instead of cursive. I could barely read it. Justin looks down at the card. I'll do the pasting, you do the cursive. Good idea. Justin looking at the gobs of paste. I think I'm just laying down. Messy. If neatness counts with me, the count hardly gets known. Gets to known. About pasting. Justin, on the other hand, is very neat about pasting things. My handwriting is much better. Another example of what great team we are. We help each other out. We also learn things about the same thing. Time. And when one of us learns first, he or she helps the other one out. When I learned to make the E go forward, not E, I taught Justin. He helped. I taught Justin. He helped. I taught Justin. Not E. I taught Justin. I don't get it. When I learned to make the E go forward, not backwards, I taught Justin. Oh, now I get it. He helps me with fractions, which I only half understand. We both whisper words to each other in reading group. When we need help, we both whisper words to each other in reading group. When we need help, great. I don't get it. Justin keeps pacing. I keep writing. We send one postcard to Justin's father, who got a new job and has to live alone in Alabama. Why didn't they all move? Danny and his mother are staying here in New Jersey until their house gets sold. Ah! Wow. That's sad he's gonna be leaving. Okay. That's taken a long time. Secretly, I'm glad. Sometimes Justin gets a little sad. I'm not glad. She's rhyming. Glad, sad, glad. But I'm not glad about that. I know Justin feels about missing his father. When my parents got divorced, my dad moved far away to another country, so I never get to see him. And he hardly ever calls. Justin's lucky though. His father comes home some weekends and he gets to talk to him a lot on the phone. And even though Justin misses his dad, I keep my fingers crossed a lot of the time, hoping that no one buys their house and that Mr. Daniels gets a job here and moves back again. At the other end of the table, Jimmy Russell and Bobby Clifford, the fighting are fighting. Listen, Tuna. Listen, Tuna Head. I need the brown crayon. Oh no. So that's Justin and that's her, so she gets the fighting from Jimmy and Bobby. Bad Jimmy and Robbie. Wow. Bad Jimmy. Jimmy started it. I've asked you 47 times and 47 times I've told you. Guys, my timer's up, so I'm gonna have to go. I can't finish it, so I'm gonna have to leave you